For joining us on the Thursday edition of Journalist Hangout. I'm Binga Oreshegun. Today on the program, FCT Police Command explains how Arise TV anchor Somi Maduagu met her untimely death trying to escape robbery attack. Federal government brokers agreement between Pengassan and Dangote refinery. And later on the show, President Tinubu inaugurates renovated National Theatre, renamed Wole Soyinka Center for Culture and the Creative Arts, laud the Nobel laureate's contributions to literature, freedom and nation building. Well, I'll be hanging out with Babajide Kolade Otitoju, and Charles Adele will join us later on the show. Journalist Hangout starts right now. Now let's begin the conversation. In the face of speculation, clarity has emerged regarding the death of Arise News correspondent Somtochukwu Maduagu. The FCT Commissioner of Police, Ajawu Adewale, has confirmed that Maduagu died after jumping from the top floor of a 3-story apartment building in Katampe area of Abuja during an armed robbery. According to Adewale, police officers found her unconscious at the scene and immediately rushed her to Maitama General Hospital, where doctors attempted to resuscitate her using CPR, but were unsuccessful. This clarification comes in response to earlier reports suggesting that her death was due to alleged medical negligence at the hospital. All right, may I so continue to rest in peace, and our heart goes out to, the management of Arise News. But, Mikhail, now that the police has confirmed, explained to us how she died and how the robbers escaped, do you think her death could have been averted if adequate security was existed in the Katampe area?
In their own area of Katampe, they had security guards. They also had vigilantes. It is impossible for the police or the army to be everywhere. Let's not kid ourselves. I mean, a country as vast as ours, the police cannot be everywhere. People also need to make arrangements for their security, like communities can come together, raise vigilantes. That's how civilian JTF began in Borno State. It was civilian JTF that chased Boko Haram into Sambisa Forest because they knew the boys and they were getting them one after another. Okay. So the city of Maiduguri became too hot for them. They had to flee into the Sambisa. And today, the civilian JTF, they are still part of the security architecture of Borno State. They've made tremendous sacrifices. They've lost, a lot of them have lost their lives, in thousands. This is the way it is. I understand that when they got to, that estate, they overpowered the security guards, on duty. We've also seen policemen overpowered. We've seen even soldiers overpowered by criminals like this. It depends on how prepared they are, the kind of weapons they are carrying, So, clearly they overpowered the security. One of the security guys even had gunshot wounds. The stories we had before now had to do with what didn't happen. That the police, when they got to when they called the police, they said they didn't have fuel, this and that. But we have seen now that the story was not true. It was actually the police that took her to the hospital. So how people will sit there and be concocting lies? I don't know what Nigerians stand to derive. What Nigerians stand to derive from lies. We've lost a young journalist. But we have no reason to lie about the circumstances of her death. A lot of the newspapers were reporting the killing of. You cannot talk about the killing of the journalist, because you can say the death of the journalist, not the killing, because what actually happened was not killing. Out of panic, she jumped to her death. That was bad enough. But you can't be talking about the killing of this individual, because that was not what happened. And you can't demonize the police, because in this case, they got to the scene in good time. But she had taken the decision to jump, and she was on the top floor. Yeah. So this was why, and when you jump from the top floor and you landed on the concrete floor in front of the building, at such a height, you don't stand any chance of surviving. Even if you jump from like 5 meters high, and I believe that place will be more than 5 meters. If you jump from like 5 meters, you don't stand a chance of surviving. You end up with broken limbs, maybe fractures, internal injuries, and all that. It's unfortunate. But for me, our armed forces must be supported, and we must continue to use technology. Technology is very good. Look at the guy who, in broad daylight, relieved an individual of his gold chain around Island. Because that whole area now is being monitored by CCTV. They got him. So there are many crimes that there are not many crimes that you can commit in broad daylight in Lagos that you get away. In fact, now if you are along Oregon, I was driving along Oregon and I saw that they note the little signage that this place is being monitored 24 hours. I think Lagos State FCT, we must use technology, especially CCTV, where criminals know that an area is fully covered by CCTV. They will not want to go there. Absolutely. In South Africa, the Durban area, for example, many criminals know that if they go to Durban to rob, they are most likely going to be caught. Because there's tremendous CCTV coverage of that area. Okay. And there are many parts of London, to more than 200,000 CCTV cameras are watching you. So people know that they could easily get caught. Exactly. So I believe that what we have seen in Lagos with incremental CCTV coverage of communities in Lagos, it has to continue. It's unfortunate we've lost this young woman, you know. We pray that this sort of thing doesn't happen again. I just think that it also makes sense for the public to know the truth. Situation you know, there's no gain in lying against the police. The police, their vehicle had no fuel, this and that, when that was not what happened. Or that the police were negligent, they didn't attempt to help, when it was actually the police that took her to the hospital. But in the state that she was, she didn't stand a chance. Absolutely. Yeah. Now, BK will give a very good background here, and he talked about technology and community collaboration. Charles Idel, thank you so much for joining us. Okay. But he talked about two things, technology and community collaboration, in ensuring that we create a safer neighborhood. Your thoughts here?
Well, first of all, I think where we're talking from is the misinformation. As media men and women, we have every cause to ensure that facts are presented before the public. Sure. The reading public, the viewing public, as the case may be here, or the listening public, as the case of the radio may be. There were so many distortions in the presentation of the case. We also saw they said when the police came, they said they had no fuel in their car, so that's why they couldn't take her. Yes. Until somebody else took her. Then first it was second floor. First, the one person was shot dead, but four were tied up. But the police said there were only two two police, two security people were there.
Okay.
Not even up to say, oh, they came about 15. I said, somebody will stand and be counting armed robbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15. So, facts are very sacred and facts very, very important to us as newsmen. Let us present the facts before the public. Number 2 is what he talked about. The other day, somebody sent me a video about the CCTV in Lagos.
Yes.
I mean, there's hardly anywhere you are now they are not watching.
They're watching you.
You understand? There's hardly anywhere you are. So if we have things like that replicated all over the big cities and then there is this collaboration, okay, the interconnect, so that when something happens, somebody happens in Lagos and then somebody runs to Ogun State, for instance, Abeokuta, then Abeokuta will pick it from there.
Exactly.
Then somebody runs to Ibadan. So with that cooperation, I'm sure we'll be able to nip this in the bud.
Another thing, we need the assurance that these perpetrators, these armed robbers will be
arrested
and
then
justice will be served.
Yes. I'm confident that they will get them. I'm confident because
I hope
the police have assured that they will get. That is the least.
It's only when they get scot-free
exactly.
that they will know that
justice must be served. And this girl must not die in vain.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. All right, gentlemen, let's move straight to our next conversation.